Hello and welcome to episode 34. My name is Stephanie and I'm the creator behind the Crafty Dragonfly and this channel. Thank you so much, let's get this out of the way. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments from last week's video. I'm so touched by the fact that you've all come back to watch it, and I didn't think, because it's been nearly a year since I videoed, and I just didn't think anybody would watch it. So thank you if you took the time to comment, and some lovely comments, so thanks for that. If you're new here, go and watch some of my previous videos. I did go through a stage of filming quite a lot about a year ago, and I am hoping going forward that I'm going to be filming quite a bit more. I've also decided as well that I'm going to try and not edit the videos as much, because that's what takes the time as well. You'd be surprised. I mean, I can be sat there at my computer for a couple of hours just editing things out, and really that's not real life, is it? So I'll try my very best that I can just film it. If I say something wrong, then I say something wrong. It's just natural. So moving on, I'm filming a week later from my previous episode 33, because we're due to go away next weekend in our camper van, and we're taking our little dog Willow with us. We did have two dogs, Willow and Murphy. Sadly, we lost Murphy a few weeks ago, so we're going to take Willow on a little 2-night break in our camper van up in the Yorkshire Dales somewhere. So I thought I'd come on now and just give you a little update really of where I'm up to with my crochet projects that I showed you last week. And I might have a confession to make for something that I might have bought. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll already know. So what I'll start with is, I'm looking over here because this is where my desk is and everything's on here. I'll give you an update on my Mayan blanket, which I showed you a finished square last week. Sorry for bending down. I'll just give you a quick reminder. This is the Mayan square, and this is by Shelley Husband, who is the crochet designer behind Spin Cushions Crochet. I did talk a lot about her in last week's video, and I've talked about her on previous episodes as well. And I decided that I was going to do it in the June Pack colourway from Attic 24. I'll talk a little bit more about her later on, because I'm going to, if there's any designers or anything, or any blogs, crochet blogs that catch my eye from one episode to another, then I'll let you know. And if you don't know who they are, or you've not followed them before, then it might give you some new inspiration. So I think I mentioned to you in last week's video, probably did, that I was going to do like a little production line. I wanted to do 9 squares altogether. You can see how big the squares are. So I started to do, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. This is 8 rounds of the Mayan. So what I was doing was say like 6 rounds, or whenever I felt like stopping, and then I'd move on to the next one, and so on and so on. Now this, I am weaving my ends in as I go along. Just got one end there, and I've left that on purpose because I know where to join the new colour, or at what point of the stitch I know where to join the new colour. I'm not going to join it there, but the stitch that I've slip stitched into there I will find on another part of the pattern. Does that make sense? And then, because patterns are they're not complicated, they're just detailed. So I need to know where I'm going to join my next colour, but not there. I'll just move it around and say join there. I hope that makes sense. So I've done that with 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done that with 5, and then I thought I'd made 9, and I can't for the life of me find that 9th one. Don't know what I've done with it, so I'll have to make another one and then I'll find it. So this is the next couple of rounds. Now this is Mocha Stylecraft Special DK. The whole pack is Stylecraft Special DK. This is Mocha. Now I wasn't sure at first when I saw it like that. I was thinking, does it look a bit dark? And I trust Lucy from Attic24. She's brilliant at colour theory and putting blankets together. I'm sure you've all heard of her anyway. But so I just thought, no, carry on, keep going with it. So then you get the lighter colour. I think this is camel off the top of my head. And then it moves on to stone. So she's doing sort of a blend. And then as you get further along, you can see on this one, you then move into, you've got the pinks here, and then you've got the whatever colour they are, I can't remember, wisteria maybe, and then you've got the silver, the grey, and then duck egg, that's duck egg. So it all together it looks nice, doesn't it? I think it's just that initial, I panicked a bit and thought, ooh, I'm not sure about that colour, but it blends well nicely, doesn't it? So I'm continuing on with that, and for instance, I've done 2 rows of the camel, so I'll stop there, hence the end I've not woven in. So I'll do that with all of the others, and then I'll move on to the next round then, which is, oh yeah, that's stone. Two rounds of stone there, can you see? Then I've done 1 round of parchment, and then only 1 round of the pink, because it is quite bright, that, so I just thought it'd look better that way. But that's the idea, right? So you can choose how many rounds you do with each colour. So that's what I'm doing. So hopefully by the next time I video, I will be quite far on. I'm going to take these away with me, I think, and then I can share with you how far I've got on the next one. So that's that. I don't think there's anything else to say about the Mayhem. Then, if you remember, I talked to you about the Vita blanket by Catherine Crochets, and I did say, and it's in my basket here, I've got a huge basket. I have many baskets in the house. I do like baskets, but I do tend to fill them with yarn. Do you remember this one from last week? It was only last week, so the Vita blanket. Lovely. I love the colours. That's next door's dog, sorry. And the microphone will pick it up, and I think there's a plane coming overhead. We live in a very quiet area. I've not probably mentioned it to you last week, or if I didn't, we live in a quiet area. We've got the Pennines at the back of us, beautiful walks, really, really lovely. We don't have any passing traffic apart from the planes. I think we're under a flight path. We don't get loads and loads coming past, but you can guarantee I'm filming, so we'll get one or two. And next door's dog, Daisy, she's lovely. She's a little Westie, but it's happened a few times. I've sat down in front of the camera and she comes out and has a little bark, and I've got the window open. It's really hot this weekend. We're set to have thunderstorms, I think, in the UK, and it was really, really windy yesterday. I've gone off on a tangent. It was really windy yesterday, lovely, very sunny and warm, about 21 degrees, I think. But today it's gone really hot, and I know that it does say there's thunderstorms coming, so I've got the window open. At least I've remembered to tell you this week why I've got the window open. Anyway, back to the Vita blanket. Yeah, this looks lovely, and if you remember, I was making it out of Stylecraft Special Aran, and obviously it's not a good project to work on whilst it's hot. And I said to you at the time I wasn't bothered about how the back looked, because you could see these because you have to carry it's tapestry crochet, you have to carry it along the back. Now I'm not so sure. That's the back, can you see? And you can really see the dark colour coming through, which I know you're going to say, well, of course you'll see it because you've got cream and then you've got a really dark colour. But I don't know. I mean, I've bought the pattern, and I love to buy patterns from designers because I like to support them. And it doesn't matter if I don't carry on with it right now, but I'm just not sure whether I've fallen out of love with it a little bit. She does say, to be fair, she links to a YouTube video of hers that she shows how to do tapestry crochet if you're not sure, and I knew how to do it anyway. But she does say, to be fair, go down a hook size if you can see the yarn showing through on your stick, you know, because you're carrying the yarn. Go down a hook size, and I did, but I only went down half a hook size because of the thickness of the yarn, because it's an Aran weight, so it's like a worsted weight. But I just don't know whether I can cope with all of that going on the back. What do you think? I can't go down any lower a hook size, I don't think, because this is quite thick yarn, and I think it will make the overall drape of the blanket, it might come out very stiff. So I don't know. So it's gone into the bottom of my basket for now, because I just think I think that would annoy me a bit that you can see all that on the back. What do you think? So for now I've fallen out of love with it a little bit, and I think I could try to do one in all this plentiful yarn I've got behind me, the DK, because I have a lot of it, as you know. So I could try that first and see if it looks the same, and I can get away with going down a full hook size on that yarn, because it will still be very drapey, the blanket. So watch this space. Moving on swiftly. Oh, my chair. I need to get some WD-40. Got my hair up today. Look at the grey. I'd said to myself before I started filming, I wasn't going to point out my grey. I'm going to the hairdressers next week, and I've had to put my hair up because it's so hot. Even though I'm drinking tea, said to you last week, I always drink tea even in hot weather, so it somehow cools me down. Anyway, moving on. I've started a new project. Now this is because I was desperate after talking last week about the beautiful WI yarn, the soft and smooth Aran tweed, which is in this very large basket I've got. This one, remember? After talking about that, and my new Nimue blanket, I have quite a bit of it in stash, and because the 400 gram skeins, you can imagine you do get a lot for your money. So I've decided, I'm looking frantically for the book. Here it is. I've got Granny Square Academy, again by, is that the focusing? Oh yeah, it is. Again by Shelley Husband, and she's just about to bring out Granny Square Academy 2. Now, yes, I can crochet, and yes, I have done quite a few, I've made quite a few intermediate going on to advanced crochet in the past. But this book, whilst I was waiting for her new book to come out, because as you know I love all things Shelley, I thought I would just go back to basics. It takes you through, or she takes you through, should I say. You have, I can't remember how many projects are in here. I would normally edit that out, by the way, but I'm not going to do. I think you have, is it 8 squares? It will say, 9, 10. I think you have 10 squares, and the idea is that she starts off very basic. What she wants you to do is she wants you to read the pattern. She does give you round by round help with photographs. I'm only going through this with you because I know a lot of you that do watch or can already crochet beautifully, but there might be some knitters on here. Mum, thanks for your lovely comment last week, Mum. Yeah, that might want to just sort of, they can do a little bit of crochet, but they want to just learn a little bit more. So the idea behind this book is she takes you step by step. So she'll start with a basic square, so you get used to doing that. She encourages you to read the book, which is what I like. So for instance, and she does it in UK and US terms for any overseas watchers. So for instance, she'll give you the pattern, and then she gives you pattern help. So step-by-step photographs and any tips that she can give you. And then if at the end of that you're still struggling, she then says to you, go and watch the video. So that's on her YouTube channel anyway for you to access now. It's free. But what she's saying is, don't go straight to the video because you might miss something in the pattern, in the written pattern. And she wants you to get used to following a written pattern rather than just the video. Now, this is the mistake I've made in the past. I'll hold my hand up. I have gone straight to a video. I've mentioned on here numerous times that I am more of a visual learner, and she doesn't want you to do that, and I understand completely why she doesn't want you to do that. So I thought I'm sure I can do all of these 10 squares, and I started them last night and I made 3 and then I'm on my 4th. So they don't take long at all if you know what you're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, then obviously she's there to hold your hand. But I just thought I'm going to go through all 10 patterns, make them in my favourite yarn, and then just make a few more and make it into a nice little blanket. And that's what I'm doing, because I don't think as a crocheter that you can ever stop learning, and sometimes you can pick up bad habits, or you know, sometimes you might think, well, why is that like that? Oh, I'll just do it anyway. Whereas she actually goes into detail about it. So she takes you through each square, then builds on, you know, sort of has a new skill to learn or a new stitch, and then you just move through. So for instance, the first one was that one, which is just a standard solid granny square. Nearly said granny square then, it's not, it's a solid granny square. So what you're doing there is you're just building up round by round. There's 6 rounds altogether. 6, yeah. And then she's just teaching you a little technique that she does, and explains why she does it that way. So that's square 1. Then you move on to square 2, which I think is that one, where she gets you to skip stitches. Again, 6 rounds. They're all the same size so that you can make them into a project at the end. So that's teaching you how to skip stitches, which if you crochet, like I say, you'll know how to do anyway. And then the next one is working into the back loop only. It's a bit skew with this square. Can you see that one? Oops. My hands aren't big enough to hold it out properly. So I've gone into the back loop there and skipped some stitches. So she's always moving along very slowly. You know, you're incorporating each stitch that you learn into the next pattern, and so on until you get to the 10 patterns. And then the next one is moving on to a stitch called spike stitch, which I've not finished, so I'll show you that next time. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but because it's got my favourite yarn, that's why as well. And then I think in here, does she show you that you can make a nice blanket out of it. Like there, for instance, that's showing you all the... I'm just peeping round and looking at the screen to make sure that you can see it. So that's all the squares together. And then of course you can do it in, you know, different colours. You don't have to stay like in a solid colour. That's a nice picture there of it. Oops. That one there. She's made a blanket out of it. So that's what I'm doing. Just in case I've picked up any bad habits or there's a little tip that she can pass on, because she loves to do that. And then I'm going to get the Granny Square Academy 2 book, because that does then move into more advanced stitches, and then I can move on to a book. So many books that I've got. In fact, I've got another one, I'll just reach across, called Siren's Atlas. I've shown you this before, I think. And that's just got, it says, Siren's Atlas is your guide to crocheting an ocean of granny squares, inspired by the colours of the high seas. Each of the 64 patterns is a fun new take on the traditional granny square, named after a sea, ocean or body of water around the world. Perfect for the intermediate to expert crocheter looking for a challenge and to improve their crochet skills and knowledge. And that's exactly what I'm wanting to do. And then again, there's the written pattern and charts. She likes to give you a chart as well, in case you prefer to follow along on a chart. I've never tried that myself, I have to say, so maybe that's something I'll look at in the future. But yeah, it's just literally, that's how she does it. So that's all that. I think... Oh, I remembered from last week actually, when I showed you the square for the fruit garden, which is up here. These come in handy, these pegboards. Do you remember the square I made for the fruit garden? And I said I'd show you the book that I'd bought. This is another designer that's, she puts a pattern into a book, and I just love that. So this is the Fruit Garden by Jane Crowfoot, and she's put on the back here, inspired by the exquisite hand embroidery and tapestry designs of May Morris of the Arts and Crafts movement. The Fruit Garden blanket project is a must make for any serious crocheter. So she starts off with lots of stunning photographs, absolutely stunning, and the inspiration behind all of her pattern. And then she moves on into each square, each pattern. And she really does break it down step by step, which is a lovely thing to do. And she also includes charts. I think I'm going to work my way probably very slowly through this, and get used to reading the pattern rather than just watching the video, which is what I confessed to last week. You'll find that out about me. I'm not very good. I'm very transparent with things. So if I've done something wrong or bought something that I said I wasn't going to do, that's coming up shortly. I'd share it with you all anyway. So, yep, I'm going to start with, is it the Forget-Me-Not? Yes, it is. It's the Forget-Me-Not, that one. I couldn't remember last week, could I? And I had to put it on the screen. So that's the Forget-Me-Nots. And then the next one is the Columbine. That's that one. Just realised you don't know what I'm looking at. Columbine. So I'll do that as and when I feel the need to. Or I want to, should I say. Right, so confession time. I'm just going to take a quick sip because I've just coughed. Confession time. Do you remember when I said last week that I needed to clear these shelves of the stash that I've got in order to make room for when I go to Yarndale in September? But also the fact that I had a lot of stash and I needed to use it up to justify any future purchases. So I was a little bit weak in my thinking the other day, and somehow, and as I say, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. Somehow I was browsing on an online yarn store, and some of the yarn fell into my virtual basket, and then I bought it. So there you have it. That's the confession. I bought some more Women's Institute yarn. Now, I'm trying to think of a justification around why I've bought it. The fact that it's so squishy, and it's 3 for 2, which is even better. I mean, that's a really good bargain, isn't it? And it's 400 grams. Need I say more? So I've bought 2 of these because I already have 2 downstairs in another Kallax unit that I have, but there's not much in the one downstairs. I have brought it all up here now. I have. And then I've got, this is teal. Now, this is a really nice colour. I'm hoping it's coming out on camera okay, which it looks like it is. That's why I'm peeping and looking here, because this is where the screen is. This is, teal. It's a beautiful colour. Now, because I was in the throes of talking about Nimue, and I've posted it a couple of times on Instagram, ages and ages ago, when I was thinking about starting the Nimue, and the way Shelley describes the story, or explains the theory or the inspiration behind the pattern, it's about a lake. So my automatic reaction to that was to think of definitely cream, maybe with a beautiful teal and blue, and just that kind of inspiration, the lake inspiration. Now I've bought this one, and I've only bought one. The only thing with this yarn, as beautiful as it is it doesn't have many colours in the range. So it has it does have a blue, but it's quite a dark blue, and I wasn't sure whether it would go with this teal colour. I think I wanted more of like a denim-y blue, maybe. Maybe like that colour. I mean, obviously I can't use this, but this colour, or maybe that colour, maybe a lighter colour or something like that. And they don't do it. They don't do it in that range. which is a shame. So what I'm going to do is I'm still deciding whether to do another Nimue and in this colour, so in the cream and this together. Can you see there? And just leave it at that, because I've actually not, because I've used the tweed before that had a fleck in it. Oh, which is that one. That's got a slight fleck in it, whereas that's a solid cream. So I might just use those two colours. Well, I'll have to, because there's no other paler blue, which is a shame. So watch this space. I will probably start that soon. Now, have I been talking for 36 minutes? I've been talking for 36 minutes. I thought this was going to be quick. So I'll talk to you more about that when I start it. She is doing a crochet along later on in the year, probably around about September time, but I don't think I can wait that long to use this yarn. So in the meantime, I think I'll start a Nimue again. So that plan failed. There is a break in this video because my battery ran out, so I've just had to put a new one in. Not that you'd know that. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I don't think I can wait that long to be able to use this yarn, so I'll just get on and maybe start a Nimue again. So I think I've rambled on enough, because I was quite shocked at the fact that I've been talking for 36 minutes. I hope you've managed to get something, some project or some progress in your projects whilst you've been listening to me. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.